Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be doing a review of one of the most hyped up foundations I have seen in a while. This is the one that everybody's talking about, and more importantly, it is from the drugstore. This one is only $11 US, $12 Canadian, and it is the new Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. We're going to be testing this, doing a wear test, the whole shebang. So if you're interested in this foundation and seeing how it performs on my combination to oily, acne-prone, textured skin, then keep on watching. Okay, so I've zoomed you in a little bit, and now I'm going to just give you a little rundown of what this foundation is if you've never heard of it. Again, it's the True Skin Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Long Wear Foundation. It is supposed to be your skin but better type foundation. It's hydrating with hyaluronic acid, watermelon seed oil, leaving a perfectly even skin tone and a natural matte finish. It's medium to high coverage with a comfortable skin feeling. Everything about that sounds great. I've heard incredible reviews of this, but obviously I'm going into this completely unbiased and I'll give you my true honest opinion. So let's just try this baby out. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my skin with my Hourglass Veil Primer. And I know my brows are horrible today. I apologize. I know I'm an esthetician and a makeup artist. Like, I really should always have clean brows, but I wax my own eyebrows, and really when you're waxing, you're supposed to let them grow out, and I feel like I'm always waxing them too early, and then I'm waxing them like every week, so I'm gonna just let them grow out this time. So I apologize. Just bear with me, all right? This is the packaging. Absolutely stunning. You have the glass bottle and the like rose gold lid. It's kind of simple packaging, but still feels and looks luxe and high end, and it has a pump as well, so I feel like you really are getting good quality packaging as well. So this is the actual foundation. I got it in the shade Fair Neutral, I believe, which like describes me in a shade. And as you can see, it's a little bit of a more like liquidy, runny formula, which I do enjoy typically because they are very lightweight on the skin, and they typically are ones that don't get cakey compared to the thicker formulas. So what I'm gonna do is start it with a brush on, let's do this side, and then I'll do a sponge on this side, and we'll see which one we like better. Let's see what the coverage is like. That's pretty good coverage. Like, it covered that blemish right up. Oh yeah, that looks really natural. Now I can see really noticeable brush strokes. I haven't really blended it in, but that's a big reason why I like to use the sponge. So I'm gonna go ahead, do sponge on this side. We'll compare coverage, and then I'll kind of blend them in the sponge. The brush is quicker as well. Like, you'll see, I'm obviously having to like go over the area a lot more with the sponge. I just like the look of the application, like the final result with the sponge better. The shade is like maybe a tiny bit light right now because I have like a tan, but for like all year round, this is actually looks like a perfect shade. It matches my neck really well, and even my chest not bad. Like, once I put contour and bronzer on, it's gonna look really nice. So I'm actually happy with the shade. I honestly think the coverage is the same with the sponge and the brush, to be completely honest with you. So personally, how I prefer to apply is go in with the brush so it's quick, and then just blend out with the sponge. I'm just gonna use the excess on my hand, kind of go over areas that maybe need a little extra coverage, see if it's actually buildable, but then also blend out both sides a little bit better. Like, I don't even feel like I need any more. This is actually incredible coverage. Like, I had some breakouts here, and yeah, they're maybe not 100% concealed, but like, I'm not mad about it at all. Like, I'm really happy with the coverage. I would say it is definitely medium to full coverage for sure. And it is slightly buildable as well from what I've seen. Oh yeah, it's definitely skin-like. And it's slightly smoothing as well. It is like really, really nice coverage. It looks really smooth on the skin. Like, it looks maybe not 100% skin-like. It's not like a tinted moisturizer. It definitely looks like foundation, but it's not, doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't feel heavy. I do have to mention though, it has a bit of a scent. It's really light, but when you really smell it, it almost smells a little bit, not perfumey, like, I don't know how to describe that. Almost maybe like florally, I guess, but really light. So if you're sensitive to fragrance, you might not like it, but it's like, I barely noticed it at all. And it's like not lingering or anything. So I think it'll be okay. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is finish up my makeup, and then I'll come back and show you what it's looking like with a full face. So I will be right back. Hey guys, so I'm back and I finished up my makeup. I didn't really do much on my eyes. but just did like a bold lip kind of look. It's looking really, really nice and smoothing on the skin. It does offer really incredible coverage. So to me, because you get higher coverage, I think it's almost worth it looking maybe a little bit less skin-like. I do think it would be also kind of a versatile foundation because you could apply only one layer and it would probably look a little like more skin-like, but a little less coverage, or you could build it and it would look maybe a little smidgen more makeup-y, a little more like glam, but you would get that coverage. So I do like that you can build it, and I'm not mad about the way it looks at all. It's smooth. It doesn't look like dry at all. I haven't put on any setting spray, and I'm not going to. I just want to see how it wears on its own. Obviously I did primer, but I'm combination oily. Like I have to wear primer if I want my foundation to last all day. This foundation does say it's long wearing. It doesn't say specifically how long, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a wear test. I'll check in a couple times throughout the day, and like I'll probably give it a good at least 10 hours. I finished my face makeup at about, I would say 10:15. I'm really interested to see if it's going to actually hold and not separate and not develop a shine. Let's go ahead and see how this baby wears. I will see you guys in a bit. It is 2:45. It's been a little over 4 hours since I applied the foundation. As you can see, it's looking still nice and smooth. Now my skin is textured, so this is normal. Like we're looking good. I haven't lost any coverage or anything. We have no separation or anything. I am developing a little tiny bit of a shine, so I'm not gonna touch it up yet, but if it gets much worse, then I'll check in with you guys and maybe we'll see how well it touches up. It's not bad by any means. Like it's like minimal shine, but I just wanted to let you guys know that about 4 hours, I just started to develop a tiny bit of a shine, which isn't too bad. It isn't separated at all yet, so we're looking, guys. So it's 5:15, so it's 45 minutes short of 8 hours, and we're looking quite greasy. So this is a hydrating foundation for us combo to oily skin types. You might develop more of a shine, but the important thing is that it really hasn't separated much. The only thing is I did wear a mask. I went to do some errands and it just transferred a bit onto the mask, so it's not completely transfer proof. But if it was a normal day, I probably would have touched up before, so it probably wouldn't have been as oily, so it maybe wouldn't have transferred as much. So if you are combo to oily or you do develop a shine, then I would just say make sure you're touching up, and then it will prevent separation, it will prevent transfer and all that. So what I wanted to do is, I'm not finished the day yet. I want to see what it looks like at 10 hours because we are just shy of 8 hours. So we're going to go a few more hours, but I want to see what it looks like if we touch it up. And I wanted to do that with you guys. I did use my Charlotte Tilbury, which I have a feeling didn't kind of lock in the makeup quite as well as my usual ones like Laura Mercier, my Peach Perfect Too Faced Mattifying, or my Maybelline. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of my Maybelline. Okay. Well, definitely mattified things really nicely. We're looking a lot less shiny. Usually when my makeup is that shiny, it's completely separated. So I'm actually quite impressed. We'll come back at the end of the day to let you guys know what it's looking like. It is 20 after 8. It's 20 minutes after the 10-hour mark, and I'm honestly really impressed. Is it absolutely 100% perfect? No. But I don't think I really have a foundation that's perfect. It's maybe not quite as long wearing as like my NARS Soft Matte, or maybe my Charlotte Tilbury, airbrush flawless finish foundation, but it is definitely up there in some of my top favorite foundations for sure after my first impression. I love the way it makes my skin look really hydrated and plump. It covers really well. I'm really just impressed with the way it sat on the skin. Even though it wasn't maybe the most skin-like foundation I have, it definitely was skin-like and not super makeup-y or cakey. It had that thin consistency that I really liked. And the biggest thing is I got super shiny, and you guys just saw me touch that up, but it didn't separate. So usually my issue is I do develop a shine, but it separates really bad on my chin, on my lip, on my nose. It didn't even crease on the sides of my nose, which is very impressive for me. Like, some of my favorite foundations crease on my nose. So I'm quite impressed. I also would like to try it with a more mattifying powder that's kind of on me. I do apologize. This one is really, really great. It makes the skin nice and flawless, but I do have to say there are other ones that kind of lock in the makeup a little bit better, and that would be maybe what I would gear towards if you are oily to combo, because this is a hydrating foundation, and even though it held up really well and didn't separate, it still developed a shine. So it's not the most mattifying foundation, but it does wear really well in terms of separation, in terms of creasing. So it's looking really good. So let's go ahead and touch it up one more time. As I said, I normally would also touch it up sooner, and sometimes if you don't catch it in time, like some of my favorite foundations, if I leave it too long before I touch up and it kind of develops too much of a shine, then it kind of is almost too late. You can see a noticeable mark there as well. I'm curious to see if I had wore maybe a better powder, would it have still done that? So I obviously still have to test this one. It's not completely transfer proof, but it's really, really beautiful. Yeah, like when I touched it up, it still looks maybe a slight bit cakey on my lip, but it actually made it look much better and really kind of fixed it. Like typically when my lip looks like what it just looked like, kind of oily, starting to maybe separate, usually it's much worse once I set it, because you're kind of setting that separation down and emphasizing it, but that actually made it look less separated. It made it look more as one. Ultimately, it's looking really, really good. I'm happy. It's been over 10 hours. Typically with my skin, it's a hot mess by now. There's very few foundations that look perfect. This isn't perfect, but it's pretty darn good. So I do give this a very, high recommend, especially if you have dry to normal skin. It's going to be absolutely perfect for you. If you have combo to oily, wear a mattifying primer. I also didn't wear setting spray, so that will help as well. Definitely think it's worth the hype. I think if I had a different skin type, I would have been even more in love with it. But again, because I have so much oil poking throughout the day, especially with the summer heat, the humidity, I was cleaning the house today. I developed a lot of shine today. I'm really impressed. You have no idea how impressed I am about how it touched up. That is like very rare for my makeup to look this good after being that oily. So yeah, super impressed. Definitely worth the hype, worth all the raving. And I think that this is another success from the drugstore category. Definitely cheaper than a lot of my favorite foundations, and it is up there in the qualities that in the actual experience I had. So I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks again for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.